Apparently, there's a Black Elvis, and we're remembering him on this episode of Family Reunion After Show.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hi guys, welcome back. We are doing the Family Reunion After Show, and this episode is episode 9, Remember Black Elvis. Before we get started, I am your host, Alexis Brown, and I cannot do this without my co-host. My first co-host is the queen of the electric slide. It is Chae Jones.
Hey guys, how are you?
And next to her is the queen of... What's your favorite line dance?
The chicken head. Oh, my line dance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, two-step.
Two-step? That's not a line dance.
Yeah,
well,
no.
whatever dance you do at the family reunion, Zakiyyah is going to do it and blow it out of the water.
Right, the cha-cha slide.
Yeah, the cha-cha slide.
yeah.
I couldn't think of it. I was like, cha-cha slide.
Cha-cha
electric
slide. That's definitely
all
one.
the slides. We're doing it all. So now that everybody's all introduced, let's get right on into the episode. We've got a wedding do-over debate. We've got some ancestor and traditional talk. And we even got a honky tonk shuffle. Who would have thought it? But before we get into all that, ladies, what did you think of the episode?
I love the episode as a whole. I love the fact that we're learning more just about Black history in and of itself, even though, it's a Locket, but that Black history was amazing just to learn from Madeiras. And then also I just love the line dancing. That was so much fun. I go line dancing. I love it.
Nice.
I love this episode because we see Coco plays no games. Don't push her. That's just a warning because she bites back. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but we start off this episode, the family's on the porch looking at family pictures, and Coco realizes that Madeiras doesn't have any pictures from their wedding. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, she must really not like Coco because she has no pictures. But it comes out she doesn't have pictures because their wedding they got eloped in Vegas. There was no cute wedding pictures that she felt comfortable having in a photo album. What did you guys think of that? I was surprised you marry a football player and you have a shotgun wedding in Vegas.
For Coco, because I think she's had such a different experience growing up than most. Like she was just wanted to be married to him. I don't think she needed the big wedding, the flowers, the church. She just wanted him. And so for her, that was her perfect wedding. And for Madeiras, it's more like she was ashamed that her daughter-in-law and her son didn't get married in the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like Coco is just the type of person where she doesn't need the validation. She loves her husband and she loves her family, and that's all the validation she needs. And you can genuinely see that in her interactions, her daily interactions with all of them. So I'm on the same boat. For her, for Madeiras was like, oh, how dare you? But for Coco, it was like, I'm
not
here.
that big of a deal.
Yeah. I'm going to be with him forever.
Yeah, but Mose didn't think the same because after hearing about it from his mom, he was like, maybe we do need to do a wedding do-over. And he tries to do a sexy dance to get her to change her mind. And it didn't work. Would it have worked for y'all, seeing that sexy dance?
It wouldn't have worked. I would have appreciated it. However, I was completely with Coco. Your mom has been trying to tell me how to raise my kids, cook my food. She will not invalidate the wedding that I had with you because I found it perfect. It's perfect for me. And you're only doing this because your mom's saying something. I don't know if it's because something you want. And you're bringing to me as, oh, Madeiras says, oh, no, that's not what I should hear from you. If you want it, say I would like as Mose, not just because my mom is bringing it to my attention.
It's almost like she could have wanted to do a wedding do-over, but now because you're saying Madeiras said we should do it, I don't even want to do it anymore because Madeiras saying we should do it.
And it's going to be her renewal, not my renewal.
What do you think, Zakiyyah?
So the sexy dance would have worked for me.
If we being honest.
If you want my honest opinion. But I also feel like he did want that wedding, that renewing their vows. I mean, at the end where Coco re-proposed to him, he was ecstatic. So, and I thought that was cute in itself. So I think that he does allow his mom to get into his head, but it was a little bit of his southern values that poked through, and he's like, hey, that would be cool. So
yeah,
I'm all with the sexy dance. Go ahead, butter me up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wouldn't have worked. You wouldn't have got what you wanted.
Then it didn't work.
Right.
I mean, it's going to work for us as a couple, but for what you wanted to come out of that sexy dance, no.
I'll watch it and enjoy it, but you're not going to get what you're trying to get, basically. All right, well, before we move on, Chae, you have a message for our viewers?
I do. Thank you guys so much for tuning into AfterBuzz TV. We appreciate all the love you guys give us on social media and watching our shows with us so diligently. But to continue to do what we do best here, we need your help. So if you're watching us on YouTube right now, give us that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button at the bottom. But if you're listening to us right now on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating because, we're 5-star girls here. We need our 5 stars.
Yes.
Don't forget to also leave a review. Tell us how much you love, your theories on what, part 2 of the first season is going to look like. We just love reading your comments. They're so amazing. And we just want to say thank you so much for making us the ESPN of TV talk.
Yes, because we can't do this without you, or we'd just be talking to each other, and that's not fun. I mean, it's fun, but not as fun as talking to you. So getting right back into it, we get some ancestors, some traditional stories told to us by Madeira, which were super duper interesting. We ended up there because Jade was borrowing her grandmother's locket. It ends up being a locket that's been around for hundreds of years, and that's how the kids end up getting a story about their ancestors. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when she told them to come in and said she was gonna tell them a story, I thought it was gonna be super boring, and I just didn't want to hear it. What did you think?
I was down for the cause.
It's just me. I don't want to hear that stuff.
I think because I haven't heard as a lot of my family history as I would have liked to. I think it's nice to hear about someone else's and find out this is a locket that's been around for 166 years. That is a long time for a family heirloom, and I really would love to know its culture and where it came from and how it's been all those years.
For it to have been that big of a locket for generations and generations, I didn't think Madeira was mad enough that she took it to school with her. She could have lost it. Something could have happened to the locket.
I think it was a way for Madeira to talk to her and actually give them a history lesson with them being interested and already captured their attention. I, again, was down for it. As soon as she said that the house was actually on a plantation, I was like, really? Okay, tell me more. So I was with you as well. Like, I'm down.
Yeah. And in hearing about the stories, we find out that a big tradition in their family is the tradition of jumping the broom. And for people who don't know what jumping the broom is, it was in slave times that slaves weren't allowed to get married, so they would jump the broom as a symbolic act of being married, and that was something that was big in their family. Do you all believe in the tradition of jumping the broom? Is that something you would do?
It's never really been something I thought about as much. I would do it because, especially after watching this episode, I think it's such a huge part of the culture where I would love that symbolism and maybe even to start my own. Yeah. So as I have children and they get married, I could we can bring that into their lives. I would love to maybe start that tradition for my own family I will have later in life.
Yes.
What do you think?
You took my answer.
Sorry.
I'm the same. I only saw one couple actually jump the broom. And no lie, I really didn't understand it at first. Maybe because that just wasn't taught to me. I feel like Jade now. But I didn't understand. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. So I would also want to have my own broom and jump the broom for myself and then pass that down to...
Yeah. I thought that was a nod for her, the movie, Jumping the Broom. That she
was in. And she was fighting for it in the movie. That's so funny. I didn't even think about that.
Right. I forgot.
What I did like about that tradition, which seemed new for this episode, I don't know if people do this, but they did in this episode, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting way, is how everybody had a color of the ribbon of their wedding colors, and they put it on the broom. So with each wedding, you added on to that broom. I thought that was beautiful. I would want to jump the broom just to start that tradition up.
Yes.
So, but in learning about jumping the broom, we realized why it was so important for them to do that wedding do-over. And when Coco realizes that, she decides, okay, we can do the do-over, and they decide they're going to do that. What did you think? Would that have changed your mind?
I thought that was especially when Mose is telling the kids about that part of the history, I think it really hit Coco, okay, maybe it's not so much Madeira so much as my husband wants the renewal of the vows in the church. And the fact that she re-proposed to him, I thought that was just so cute.
It was so cute.
Yeah. Another thing we learned in our stories from Madea was how Madea and Grandpa got together, how he really had to pursue her and court her and really impress her father. I wish it was still like that.
Oh my God.
Can I get a witness?
I wish men still had to really like prove that they were interested and show respect and get respect from your. I mean, it probably seems like a lot, but just the effort that guys had to put in, you know, back then. I don't think it's any coincidence that people back in the day had to put that type of effort in, and now you see people from that era who stay married for years.
Yeah.
But nowadays you see things just kind of falter after a few years, and I think I know what I think, but do you think that's a direct correlation to what happens in the courting process of things?
It's these darn phones.
It's a little bit, but I feel like that also depends on the man your man or your woman you're gonna be with at that time. Because I grew up with parents who were married for 32 years before my dad died, and I've never seen so much love. Even when they were angry at each other, they always kissed each other goodbye. Hi, goodbye. I'm mad at you, but here's a kiss. Cool, I'm out. And I had so much respect for that. So I can't. Did your dad really have to like court and go after your mom? Oh, according to my mom's story, they met at this college party, kind of like a little bit like Amelia and Jeb, and that's where they met, and they got married in 1981, and they lived in the same house since then.
Nice.
She said he was smooth. That's what she said he was. I don't know. Hopefully she didn't mean another meaning. That's all I know. I didn't ask too many questions because I didn't want to know. But for I think for them it was just. They mirrored each other. They were so different, but their differences worked for each other at the same time. He was more quiet. She was more sociable, but they still worked. And I think we need to let go of the phones, more eye contact. Just call me. If you're a guy and you're trying to hit me up, do not text me. I deserve a phone call. I mean, maybe after a couple dates or so, yeah, we can start texting everything, but I would at least like the respect of a phone call.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you were watching and you was trying to scheme on how to get Chae, she's dropping hints right now, letting you know what to do.
I'm just saying. I just feel like this. As generations keep getting on, and like you said, the divorce rate is like getting more like 1 or 2 every year. I think we really need to refocus as a generation and try to maybe bring some of that old school back, because nothing's ever wrong with a little bit of old school in your life.
Yes. Yeah. What do you think, Zakiyyah?
I just thought it's interesting. I mean, it is a different time, but I thought it was cute how Jeb and Amelia actually were too, and how he didn't give up. Regardless, he slept on the couch. He knocked at the door every day. He brought gifts. I mean, so just to see that, I would love for that to be a thing again. But it's different times.
Different times.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because am I gonna do that? No.
Yeah. It was definitely beautiful to see, and it makes you appreciate just the old school generation and how things were handled and all that such.
I also love the interracial couple we got with her aunt. I wrote it down.
Oh, yeah, with the
Francine, the interracial at the Cotton Club back in the 1920s, which was like just an amazing part of just jazz history and enough stuff to actually feature the Cotton Club in it.
Yeah.
And even though Tom and Francine didn't, have children, their love was powerful enough where they just like, you know what? We're going to get married. We love each other, and that's the only thing that should matter, no matter what.
Yes. I love it. All right. So another thing that happened is Coco agreed to go out with Mose and his brother to this honky tonk, which I'm not going to lie. I was like, why they got this black family up in this honky tonk? But eventually, they ended up having fun. They did some line dances, which apparently isn't just a black thing. It's not just a family reunion thing. You can do it at the honky tonk. So fitting that this is family reunion, and they're not even at a family reunion, but they still line dancing. So it goes to that. But what happened that was interesting is that Moses' brother's girlfriend actually thought that Coco was trying to push up on his brother and tried to fight her and ended up getting punched in the face by a very, very strong puncher, Coco. Were y'all shocked by that?
Well, first of all, you called me a heifer. Then you pushed me. Yeah, no, I'm down. I would have took off my earrings first just for effect. But yeah, I would have had the last word or last push, last something. Because one, you don't know me. 2, obviously you're crazy. Yeah, I'm down. Like, I'm down for the cause again. It's like, because I think for Debra Sue, like, she thought because Coco was from Seattle and she's very put together, she don't know how to get down. But Coco's like, oh, you thought I couldn't bring it, huh? I proved it.
Yeah. No, I was in shock because as soon as she turned around, she's like, did she just call me a heifer? Did she just push me? I'm like, oh yeah, she about to get punched in her face. That's the ultimate. I turn around and I ask you a question because I'm confused at what just happened, and I just want you to validate so I know what happened to do next. Like, so I could do this next because that's okay. Because punch her in the face.
Cool. Yeah. Actually, I learned how to do that dance they were doing when he got Coco up. It's actually really fun. I'm not gonna lie. I've been line dancing. Like, that line dancing for me is so much fun.
Well, we said in the beginning you were the queen of the electric slide and apparently the honky tonk shuffle too.
This is true.
If you want a tutorial from Chae, tune in. I'm just kidding.
No, please, I'm down. I love country western line dancing. There's just something about it.
It looks fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. I was like, I want to learn the honky tonk shuffle.
And it shows they just don't play country western. They also play a little hip hop, and like they keep it modern. I think when you push those two things together, like, you're bound to have a great time no matter where you are.
True.
Yep, and that's exactly what they did. Let's get into our special segment.
Okay, guys. I love it. So today's special segment is, we're going to give you our favorite Madeiras saying, because she is a queen of the one-liners or just shade to be thrown through this season. And each of us on the panel are going to give you one of our favorite sayings that she said. So, Miss Alexis, you want to start it off?
I feel like mine is boring, but it's just an important staple. I feel like we say this in the Black community all the time when she said, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night, and you're not about to pull the wool over my head. Period.
Very true. Miss Zakiyyah.
Mine was when she said they used to call me Big Booty Judy. I thought that was hilarious. I feel like we hear that saying all the time in the Black community. If anyone has a big booty, it's Big Booty Judy. Like, what's her real name? Tyler. But right now, she's Big Booty Judy.
The best part about that line was when she was like, because Amelia didn't rhyme.
Yeah. That really was the best part. Yeah. And Mazzi's like, can a brother get a warning?
Yeah.
That part was funny. My favorite saying is this episode, actually, when she said, you know how some people say, my house is your house? I'm not one of those people. Stay out of my stuff.
Yep. You can always count on an amazing Madeira one-liner, so thank you for that. All right, let's get into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so speaking of news, Madeira actually, she threw up a Throwback Thursday, and it's her and the original Dream Girls. And as we spoke about, that was what gave her starting run to the amazing Loretta Devine that we see today and the amazing Madeira we see today. So cute. She's there with, you guys might know it's her from Moesha. That's Sheila Lee Ralph. And then she was also there with Debra.
Jennifer Holiday.
Yeah.
So even if we don't have somebody come back on the show and, be a past sitcom person, she posted something on Instagram, and we had, like I said, the mother of Moesha. So I just love how, we see all of the actors from famous Black television who they're still together. They stick together. They support each other through when they have individual projects, when they have projects together. It's just a beautiful thing to see. We love Black Hollywood.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps everything up. But before we go, let's get into some predictions for our last episode.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So my prediction is that there's going to be a dilemma that the family's going to have to go through. So I really want to know how that's going to affect the family with whatever decision is made.
Yep.
My prediction is, again, we're going to see more of Shaka and his love interest, Brooke.
Yes. And I agree, we're about to get into the last episode of part 1, so I feel like something is about to happen, something big, and we're just going to have to see the aftermath, but I'm excited for it, whatever it is. Ladies, before we go, let us know where we can find you.
You guys can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
You guys can find me on Instagram at Zakiyyah _.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Lexi Fierce. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.